the Ministry of Education recommended that all boarding primary school should be banned, so that all primary schools should remain as a day school, so that parents can take care of their children. But this is something that sent different reactions across the country, with some people backing the government and others, especially parents, opposing the proposal. So here, I'm at Catholic University of Eastern Africa to also engage with students, more so who are taking education, who are going to be teachers in those schools, to also give their opinion, whether they're backing the government or they're backing the parents, that this boarding primary education should remain, should not be banned. However, at the same time, the Kenya Kwanza government, the task force that was selected also proposed that the junior secondary education should remain in primary schools and not in high schools, the way the Jubilee government had put it. Maybe, let me engage these students or teachers, future teachers, to also say a word or give their opinion regarding the same. Come, welcome, and maybe you can tell us your name and give us your opinion regarding the same.
I'm Roger Mila, I'm also doing education. I think the whole thing is about planning. If you have had the Kenya Kwanza government has a good plan, of course, but then looking back at what has been laid down on the ground before, that some buildings already have been erected and so forth, I think it's not good for the government now to start again, like starting afresh. The point is just to move on with the structures that have been laid down, like if the junior secondary schools have been built in the secondary schools, why not to move on with that? That will not change the whole system. But the whole thing is, the government has a very good plan to take over the CBC thing. But however that's happening, the point is all about the burden from for the parents. Remember that if the government is not going to initiate this fully, they will still go back to the parents, and this will be a burden to the parents. And we are talking about hustlers. If we're talking about the hustlers, then it's to reduce the cost at all costs. But then if you return this back to the parents, then that's not really doing what the agendas of the Kenya Kwanza government is talking about. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We also have a biology teacher, maybe to come here and also give us his opinion regarding the same, whether he's backing the government or he's backing parents or he's backing the CBC task force that was appointed by the president. Because parents are saying that when this thing is going to happen, that their children are going to be affected because majority of girls are going to get early pregnancies. But the question remains, what is their responsibilities on this? Maybe you can come here, face the camera, tell us your name, and give us your opinion.
Okay, first, my name is Charles, a student at Catholic University of Eastern Africa. First, I will wish to say that the issue of CBC is a very good plan. Actually, as you can, if you listen to the CS for the Jubilee government, they said for the CBC to work perfectly, we need more scientists because these students will be engaged in practical work. Like me now, I'm doing science, biology. This one will also engage us. Most of us will have job opportunities. The only thing that we need to do is only to do 1 year postgraduate in education, and we are good to go. And now comes the issue of students, junior school being in a secondary or primary schools. I don't see if there is a big issue there. The fact is, the name will still remain the same. Like we can say, Catholic University is located in Karen, Nairobi. We have one in Kajiado, and the other one maybe. But the fact is, it will still offer the same thing. So I think the issue of being the government proposing one to be in secondary or primary, I don't think it is wise. Yeah, that's all my view.
Maybe Mwalimu, before you go,
Yes.
or before I allow you to go, what's your opinion regarding that all primary schools should remain day schools and not to be boarding schools?
Okay, actually, that is a very good idea because now we have the opportunity to manage our children. Because this CBC actually, it's all about work, engaging the parents also to see what their children are doing. Actually, if you see, parent will know that my child is good at this when he is involved or she is involved in such activity the child is doing. So regardless of that, we have some mutation that has taken place in our genetic modification. Like you can right away in the 21st century, the students at primary level or the students doing their CBC are very young. Actually, they are very young that they need the care of the parent. Actually, taking it to be a day school is better because that one also will help us to reduce the cost and all that thing. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Those were opinions from the science teachers. One are teaching biology, chemistry, math. Maybe moving away from teachers, let's also engage a student here who's taking political science, also to give his opinion regarding the same. Maybe you can tell us your name, your course, and give us your own opinion regarding the topic of today.
Thank you very much, Brian. My name is Pasi Maura. I am a second-year international relations student. So my opinion concerning the CBC is that it should remain. It should still remain and it should be strengthened by the current regime. The CBC, as the name implies, is competence-based curriculum. Moving away, the 844 system is characterized by rote learning and excessive pressure on students to capture and be able to memorize so many theoretical aspects. But then in the CBC, it delves more into practical work and it delves more into arts, whereby a student is given the opportunity to express his or her own innate capabilities. So the government should come up with a framework which it will be able to engage parents and teachers and all other stakeholders in the education sector to be able to know which is the best way to implement this competence-based curriculum. Because negating the CBC, especially after the progress that has been done by the former regime of Jubilee, it will be like negating the value for money, the value of money that has been spent by the government to be able to come up with the curriculum and implement it. So the competence-based curriculum should not be abolished, rather than it should be remodified to meet the present needs. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maura, for your opinion. Thank you very much, Maura, for your opinion. Maybe as we finish, let's engage also a lady here to also give out her opinion regarding the topic of today.
Thank you very much, Brian, for that opportunity. On my opinion, CBC should be modified or continued with, but the issue of boarding or prime or day schools, I think we should continue with that, because most of the parents, those who are not able to cater for the students while they are at home, should take them to the boarding schools. I think that one should continue like that. And with the issue of junior schools and also the primary schools, it being the primary schools still, I think these kids are so small, they ain't developed in a way with their intelligence and integrity. They should continue in the primary schools to be taken care of, to be able to be molded, to be integrated, to be ladies and gentlemen of integrity, and to help them know what they will do later, maybe when they go to the senior schools. I think it's for them, it's for better that they be in the primary schools because of the age and also for the cost. The parents ain't prepared early enough to take the child to the secondary school.
Thank you very much, Assumpta, for your opinion. Maybe as we finish, as I had mentioned earlier, that the government is proposing that all primary schools should remain day schools and not boarding schools. Maybe, Maura, you can give us your opinion as we finish, whether you think that this thing is going to happen, this proposal is going to happen to help our children, our nation, or our education system.
Thank you very much, Brian. My name is Maura, as I had mentioned earlier. You know, one thing you need to realize, any idea that has been conceptualized by the human brain is a two-faced coin, with its advantages and disadvantages, with its positives and negatives. So that's the same case as boarding schools. They got the advantages and disadvantages. The biggest advantage of boarding schools is that they teach the pupils individual responsibility over their own property, over their academic progress, and most probably over their hygiene. But then students who study in day schools, they get more exposed to their current world affairs and they get to interact with their parents more. So for me, boarding schools should remain as well as day schools, whereby it will be a discussion between the pupils and their parents on which suits them both. But as far as I'm concerned, boarding schools should not be abolished because the positive traits that boarding schools instill in children will also be abolished as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that opinion. Maybe we'll meet during the dialogue to also engage the education experts to also give their opinion regarding the same. Thank you very much for your time. May God bless you.